While the 2002 movie is fiction, the 8 Mile true story is so close to the life of star Eminem, Marshall Mathers, that it borders on being a biopic. Directed by Curtis Hanson with Scott Silver on screenwriting duties, 8 Mile stars hip-hop megastar Eminem as Jimmy Smith Jr., a struggling underground Detroit rapper trying to escape from his working-class roots using the local rap battle scene. Taking to the stage under the name B-Rabbit, Jimmy's story in 8 Mile so closely mirrors Eminem's life that many wonder how much of the 2002 movie is true. The similarities between 8 Mile and Eminem's life aren't coincidental. The rapper was a key creative driving force behind the movie, collaborating with Scott Silver on the story and personally choosing director Curtis Hanson. A huge amount of the plot of 8 Mile rings true to Eminem's early career, so while the 2002 movie is a work of fiction, it draws so much from real life that it's almost, but not quite, a biopic of Slim Shady's rise to fame. The Detroit setting of 8 Mile is true to Eminem's life. 8 Mile couldn't have been set anywhere else. Eminem as B-Rabbit sits on a bus in a scene from 8 Mile. The most obvious aspect of the 8 Mile true story to be directly taken from Eminem's life is the setting. Eminem was born in Detroit, Michigan, as many fans know, due to the extensive number of times he references his hometown in his songs. It's no accident that B-Rabbit also resides in Detroit, as this is a key part of Eminem's story in more ways than one. Especially during the 1990s, hip-hop was largely divided between East Coast rappers from areas like New York or West Coast rappers from LA. It took a long time for scenes elsewhere, such as Detroit, to be taken seriously. What's more, the unique economic struggles present in former industrial cities like Detroit were key to forming Eminem's unique musical style, and, by extension, that of B-Rabbit in 8 Mile. Even the title of 8 Mile is a direct reference to the setting. The 8 Mile Road is how the M102 connecting opposite ends of Detroit is locally known, and it's from this that 8 Mile draws its name. Eminem makes several references to the 8 Mile Road in multiple songs, as it's often perceived as the dividing line between the poorer districts in southern Detroit and the wealthier suburbs of the city's north. From the title alone, it's clear just how important the Detroit setting is to the plot of 8 Mile, and it's perhaps the most significant aspect of the plot that mirrors the true story of Eminem's life. B-Rabbit's relationship with his mom is based on Eminem. Rabbit and Stephanie are inspired by Marshall and Deborah Mathers. Lily and B-Rabbit in 8 Mile, 1. Another aspect of the 8 Mile true story that's heavily inspired by Eminem's life is the relationship between Rabbit and his mother. Eminem's complex feelings towards his mother, Deborah Mathers, are well documented in his music through songs such as 2002's Cleaning Out My Closet. The rapper regularly discusses the abusive childhood he experienced due to his mother's struggles with addiction and mental health in his music. While 8 Mile doesn't mirror this completely, it did take inspiration from this stage of Eminem's life and his fractious relationship with his mom. In 8 Mile, Rabbit's mom, Stephanie Smith, played by Kim Basinger, has an incredibly toxic relationship with her son. The two are constantly at odds, especially when Stephanie begins dating Greg, Michael Shannon, who is abusive towards her and also was in the same year as Jimmy in high school. Rabbit also has notable worries due to the environment Stephanie has created for his young sister Lily, Chloe Greenfield. However, while Stephanie is certainly problematic for both Lily and Rabbit in 8 Mile, the Smith home, which is in a trailer park, doesn't seem as toxic as the one Eminem describes in his own life in songs like the aforementioned Cleaning Out My Closet. 8 Mile manages to capture the emotional complexity of the situation incredibly well though, even if it doesn't depict the direct abuse that Eminem alleged he experienced at the hands of his real mom. Eminem and B-Rabbit both had to fight against economic hardship. The working-class population of Detroit faced unique hardships. Eminem and exhibit in 8 Mile. Just as the Detroit setting is incredibly important to Eminem and a key part of the 8 Mile true story, so is the period in which the movie is set. During the 1990s, Detroit experienced a severe economic downturn, which, to some extent, it still hasn't recovered from. This meant that life for Detroit's poorest communities throughout the 1980s, when Eminem grew up, and 1990s, when 8 Mile is set, was especially difficult. Work opportunities were few and far between, which is a key reason both Eminem in real life and B-Rabbit in 8 Mile felt that music presented the only realistic way to escape the poverty they felt trapped by. Had 8 Mile been set in a city like New York or LA, where many of Eminem's hip-hop contemporaries were based, the hardships faced by characters like Rabbit would have been different. This is what sets 8 Mile apart from many other stories of underground rappers. Rabbit, much like Eminem, isn't a gangster or criminal trying to escape a life on the wrong side of the law by pursuing music. He works in a factory, and despite several instances of lawbreaking, isn't a career criminal. Much like Eminem before achieving stardom, Rabbit is just doing what it takes to survive and would be pursuing legitimate means of income if they existed, which, in the Detroit of the 1990s, they didn't for kids who grew up in a trailer park.